Hello and welcome to the Queber channel. I'm Jason, your host. I've been doing a lot of work around the house of trying to get everything sorted. Now, I have to point this out, and I always have to point this out because there is people out there who think I have money and that, and how can you afford these things? Remember, everything that it's like a closed energy ecosystem. If I want to buy a new item for my coping strategy, for my disability, I have to sell items. I make no profit. I usually only sell things for how much I need to get the next item. And that is how I am. I will never have a nest egg. I will never have anything like that. And my money is all taken up in my bits and pieces. So there's been some massive changes recently. And it started with this arcade cabinet here. Since I've had that arcade cabinet, I have hardly touched my Amiga. I've hardly touched my Atari 2600, my PS2, but that's for another reason, or anything other. This arcade machine, I wish I had been able to have one a long time ago. It's the perfect go back in time machine. It's a time machine for my mind. I can go all the way back to the 1970s in it. Times when things were simpler and easier. When my brain needs to have a time out of a certain kind, that gets used. It gets used every single day. I've put away my Atari 2600. I've put away one of my Amigas. I've put away my PlayStation 2. And let me just pause this. The other primary part of my coping strategy when it comes to old games and portable games is my Steam Deck OLED plus the X-Real glasses. That plus that and this. This is the X-Real hub. Something I've been wanting for so many years, to have one that was made for this system. So basically, I can plug the X-Real hub into my Steam Deck. The X-Real glasses go into one of these and power the power connector that comes with this system goes into there. And bingo, I've got permanent play, charging as I play. Brilliant. So, and this has all my PS2 games on it, and sometimes they run faster than on the PS2, but that's another thing. But yeah, that is my part of my coping strategy. I still use almost daily my 2002 PC. I'm always concerned that one day the monitor's going to die, but that will happen, and when it does, I will either get another monitor for it or I will put it on an LCD system. That is what the options for that, so that's okay. Apart from that, I've got my Xbox 360 over there for roleplay games. Yeah, I had to explain to BritMonkey when he was here that I can't play first-person shooters on a console. I've never been able to. I love the controls for a console. I love the gamepad. I love the Xbox controller and that. But I've never been able to, and it isn't about getting good, it isn't about learning it and that. It's just something that my brain will never get, playing first-person shooters. I think when I played through the Master Chief Collection, I had an adapter to plug into my Xbox, so I could use a keyboard and mouse. That is the only way I was able to play it on there. Anything that isn't able to be used with something like that, I just can't do it. I just can't. It's something that my brain cannot handle. I've missed out on a lot, like Resistance: Fall of Man. I always wanted to play the PlayStation ones and first person, but no, I tried many times. Something to do with my brain not connected like that way. But I have 10 of the best role-play games on my Xbox 360. Let me go fetch them and show them you. Okay, so we have Star Ocean: The Last Hope. Amazing game. Resonance of Fate. Eternal Sonata. Blue Dragon. Infinite Undiscovery. Mass Effect 1 and 2 and 3, because playing them on there just evokes some past for me. And Lost Odyssey. So that's another part of my coping strategy that gets used very often. But most of everything else doesn't. The Amiga doesn't get turned on at the moment because I've got all this other stuff, but it's always good to have a backup. And you may think, what happens if this fails, if the Legends Ultimate fails? Well, I'll have to get it fixed. And I do have a backup for it. I have my arcade briefcase downstairs, ready to go. That is a backup for if this ever fails. I will do this. Can't do all of what I can do on here, but I'll be able to do a lot of what I can do on here, that downstairs. No, so that side of things are good. I've sold my QNAP, the big thingy, because I wasn't having it turned on during the summer because it was raising the heat of my server cabinet too much. Funny thing is, the person I'm selling it to is actually very like me. He's got all his retro stuff and everything, but he's really gone into the storage side. He's got like 6 or 7 NASs. So yeah, he's going to have that. And what am I going to do for storage? Because I always need my storage. Well, first of all, I have a 20 terabyte drive at the moment. I go by the 3-2-1 rule that Linus does, the same kind of thing, and a lot of people do. 3 backups and in different places. So that's good. But my primary system now is going to put what I could call a hybrid NAS. Now, I have a computer downstairs that is my AI computer. Most of the time, it only ticks over. It's got a 3950X in there CPU, really good CPU. A few generations old, but really good. So I've got that in there, and it's got MSI Lightning AM4 motherboard. It's a nice little system. Now, usually that's connected to my Index, but at the moment it hasn't got a graphics card. So I'm going to get a graphics card for it, another 4060 Ti. 4060 Ti is my favourite graphics card at the moment. Why? It can game at 1080p. It can do VR because it's got the extra VRAM. It can do AI because it's got 16 gigabytes of VRAM. And so on. So it is the sweet thing. So that's going to go in the one downstairs. It's going to be purchased with all the money that I've made by selling these bits of, well, all the money I've got from selling all these bits and pieces. So that, and all the drives in that system are or SSDs or M2s, but it's all my cast-offs. So there's a 1 terabyte M2, there's a 4 terabyte M2, which is a nice one, and then it's got 240 and 250 gigabyte SSDs, like 4 of them in there. So what I'm going to do is, as part of most of the money going on buying the Quingo, the mobility scooter, but it's going to leave me with some spare thingy, which means what I'm going to have in there is, as my live system, seeing as it's on most of the time anyway for AI, and it runs very quietly because it's got an overdone all-in-one cooler for the CPU and all that. And so what I'm going to do with it is this. That computer downstairs, I'm going to take out all the drives out of it except for the 4 terabyte M2. Then I'm going to put another 4 terabyte M2 in. And then I'm going to remove all these 4 250 gig SSDs and replace them with 4 terabyte SSDs. And I'm going to have one of those SSDs is going to be for films, my Plex film collection. One is going to be for TVs, or my TV collection. One is going to be for a dump drive for all my video files from here and that to go on. And all of those drives are going to be shared and with the local network. So from any computer in the house, I'll be able to access that computer, access that version of Windows, and I'll be able to run my Plex from it. I'll be able to run backup stuff, and I'm also going to be plugging in this drive externally. Oh, this is a FireCuda, one of the Seagate FireCuda, really good gaming drive. You can use this for gaming if you need to, but it's a mechanical drive. But this is going to be my backup drive that takes stuff off there and gets put away. I have 2 of these. So it's going to end up with about 30 to 40 terabytes of storage, depending on what's connected to it. And at the moment, I'm still emptying out my big NAS, and then I'll wipe the drives. So that unit downstairs will not only be AI, a backup VR system because my Index connects to it, and a 4060 Ti will ace it with the Index. It's going to be my Plex, it's going to be my backup drive, it's going to be my video drives, it's going to have everything on there. And the wonderful thing is, because it's just a basic Windows system, if any part of it fails, it's easy to replace. If any of the drives start to look as if they're having issues, I can just put another SSD in. I'm purposely leaving 3 SSD slots open on it, SATA slots open on it, and I might just have a set of cheaper SSDs ready to go on the fly. Everything will be mirrored to a off thingy so that I can always. It'll have a backup. A NAS is not a backup. A NAS is a live environment to be used, and that's going to be my live environment. As silly as it sounds, even though it's a very powerful processor, the 3950X, it actually idles when it's not being used for gaming at like 30, 40, 50 watts. And that's in basic Windows usage for Plex and stuff like that. And this is my 10 gigabit PCIe dual. This is going to go in that unit to replace the 1 gigabit that's built into the motherboard, and this will connect with my 10 gigabit network, which means access to those drives will be very, very fast, and transferring files will be amazingly fast. And because it's got the oomph of the actual processor, and it's got 32 gigs, and it's going to be able to do transcoding and that with the 4060, it's going to be a perfect hybrid system. I've spent the last week trying to get my head around using different systems since I decided to get rid of that. And it all came about because I just realised that I had my NAS turned off for the last month because it was too warm and it was heating up the server cupboard too much. And I can't afford to actively cool the server cupboard. I can't afford to run electricity to cool that cupboard. So this idea of utilizing a basic install downstairs of all the things is a really good idea. So that's that side. The good thing about this is, because I'm not using a lot of my equipment at the moment, I've got workspace to mess around on. My HP Pavilion is over there at the moment, sitting there all nice and thingy. I want to put a 4 terabyte drive in there, M2. It's a brilliant laptop. That one is one of the best laptops HP ever did. And I'd just like to get it fully functional and set it up as a backup. You know I like my backups. Now, as for the Quingo. Now, to buy a Quingo brand new, they're very expensive. And beyond they like the price of a small car. Because they are a car replacement, basically. They are registered, they can go on the road. I'm going to be upgrading it as well. And so I'm getting a second-hand one, but it's a second-hand one that's only done I think it's 78 miles. And it was ordered in 2022, I believe, manufactured in 2022, and it was for someone down south, and unfortunately the person had a stroke, so they couldn't use it. So it was bought back, and so it's a Quingo Tourer 2. It is an amazing, absolutely amazing. It is like the ultimate one. And that, with the add-ons that I'm going to have, it means I'll be able to go out whether it's raining, sunny, or anything. I will be able to go anywhere on it within I'd say it's got a 55-mile range, which means you split that in half to around 25, 26, so you make sure you've got enough power to get back. Not that I expect to spend thingy out there 2-3 hours. Yeah, that's probably. I mean, I'm amazed that I went for Trenton Gardens and that. But yeah, so it's going to. I'm Partexing my Kimco, because while I would love to have two to have backup, I cannot have the logistics of it would not be good. Maybe in the future I'll get something called a Revo just to stick in the backyard as a backup. But because it's almost brand new, it's going to have a service contract. Let me tell you what it comes with, just to show you. Let me pause there. Okay, what it comes with is 2 years warranty, 1 year roadside recovery, 1 year triple star insurance, which basically means it's completely covered for any problems that go on. I am also going to have some add-ons put on it. That is a rear facing camera that allows you to see what's going on behind you when you're backing up. A heated grips, same kind of ones you get on bikes, and the canopy, the custom canopy that they do. A Quingo engineer will come and fit all that, and then I'll be able to go out in the rain, in the sun, because the canopy isn't just good for the rain and bad weather. It's very good for if it's a really hot day, to keep your head shaded from the sun. So it'll be useful, and it'll mean I can use it more of the year. So yeah, that's all in the works at the moment. So this is Jason for the Grubber channel. I hope you're all having a wonderful day.